Well, folks, welcome to another Friday fishing forecast, Easter edition. I cannot believe we just went through another week and here we are again at the Friday fishing forecast. I do have some good news though. This weekend's weather looks really nice. There's a slight chance of rain on Sunday on Easter, but Saturday the winds are going to lay down. So if you want to run offshore, you can definitely run offshore. If you want to fish inside the bay, you can do that. I don't think it's going to hinder you whatsoever. I think the wind, from what it's showing, the winds are going to die down and be absolutely beautiful for this weekend. It's probably going to be a very busy weekend on the water, which I expect simply because the weather's going to be so nice. Finally, we get a weather window where it's finally laying down on the weekend and not during the week. There's a lot going on. We had the Fins Fishing Club this last Tuesday, which was a huge turnout. We had 4 different stations. It was a lot of fun meeting some great people from that. So thank you for coming up and introducing yourself. We appreciate that. I have a couple of fishing videos that I am working on right now. It's just, there's so much going on that it takes a little bit of time for me to sit down and really do the video that I want to do. So we're going to be showcasing in one of them. We're going to be talking about you know, what we're using gear wise, as in, you know, tackle and things like that, explaining why I look at certain areas on the Navionics, picking out certain different areas, going to a new area and finding new species. It's actually going to be called exotic fish because there were some fish that we haven't caught before. And so it was, or we have caught them, but they're not a steady fish that we catch. So look out for that video. It's going to be called exotic something. I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out. And then we have another video that's coming out that I'm going to rely heavily talking about the conditions for the trip. And I do that on the exotic video also, where I'm going to explain the conditions that we were fishing, because we were coming into a full moon. But I can tell you this, the major feeding times were dead on. They were dead on. The morning bite was really, really good until early afternoon, and then it kind of, the tide slacked off and the bite kind of shut down offshore for us. So let's go ahead and get into the tides and schooners for this weekend and see what we have in store. On Saturday, we have a high tide at 3:50 a.m. at a 1.4, and we have a low tide at 0.8 at 8:23 a.m. And we have a high tide at 2:29 p.m. at a 2.2 foot, and we have a low tide at 10:11 p.m. at a negative 0.3. On Sunday, we have a high tide at 4:48 a.m. at a 1.3, and we have a low tide at 8:25 a.m. at a 1.0, and we have a high tide at 2:54 p.m. at a 2.4. And then we have a low tide at 11:06 p.m. at a negative 0.4. Now let's go ahead and talk about the schooners for this weekend. On Saturday, we have a minor feeding time from 8:09 a.m. to 9:09 a.m. Then we have a major feeding time from 2:36 p.m. to 4:36 p.m. Then on Sunday, we have a minor feeding time from 8:49 a.m. to 9:49 a.m. Then we have a major feeding time from 3:28 p.m. to 5:28 p.m. Well, folks, that's the tides and the schooners for this weekend. Again, the weather looks like it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So if you do have a chance to get out with your family and enjoy the Easter weekend and get out on the boat and do some fishing or just do some boating and sandbarring, it's going to be a beautiful weekend to do so. We had some really interesting catches this week, and some of my buddies had sent me pictures. And it's funny, as long as we've been fishing offshore, and I say long, it's only been a couple of years, we have yet to catch these 2 species, and it just kind of grinds me a little bit, not in a bad way. I'm happy for my friends that are catching these fish, but in this first set of photos, this is Brian Hoops, aka Nannerman, who you've seen on our show many of times. This is him with a beautiful wahoo caught in 92 feet of water on a slacker jig using whitebait. It ended up being 63 inches long and 58 pounds. So again, Brian, congratulations, Nannerman. It was a beautiful fish. I still haven't seen one. Chad and Ernie had one behind the boat one day, they said, and they just couldn't get it to eat. So they're out there, and you don't necessarily have to high-speed troll for them, but I think you just have to have a little bit of luck on your side. to make something like that happen. And they did. He literally hooked that fish right in the corner of the mouth. And I think it was on 20-pound leader that they caught that fish. He said it literally almost spooled them, and they were able to recover it back. So that's a beautiful fish. And thanks for rubbing that in, Nanner man. Appreciate it. He called us on the radio and goes, "Hey, you'll never believe I got this wahoo." And Chad goes, "Are you sure it's not a kingfish?" He's like, "Nope, it's definitely a wahoo." And sure enough, it was a wahoo. Now let's go on to this next picture. This is our buddy Captain Brian Lambert with Fish Hawk Charters with a real nice tuna he caught on a slacker jig with a shrimp. So folks, if you've never used a slacker jig, you might want to look into it, because you catch a lot of different species. We've caught everything from you know, snapper, grouper, hogfish, all kinds of stuff on the slackers, but we haven't caught that elusive tuna yet, or we haven't caught the wahoo. Last but not least, this is Chad and Dave Odell with a red and gag grouper, and these fish were caught on the video that will be coming up after this video comes out. It will probably be on Monday, but we had a great day on the water, lost a lot of good fish, so it was a fun time in the water, caught a ton of fish, and so you'll see that on the video coming up. All right, folks, that about does it for the Friday fishing forecast. I want to say thank you again to all the people that have been supporting us. We truly appreciate it. You guys have been keeping us very, very busy. Can't ask for anything more. Again, I want to say thank you to all our sponsors. We really appreciate the support that you guys give us, because if it wasn't for you guys, the sponsors, and all of our customers, we wouldn't be where we are today. So again, thank you so much for being so supportive. If you guys have any questions, or if there's something that you want to see, please let us know. I'm always struggling to do content and find content, and I want to do some different things. So if you guys have some ideas, let me know. Again, thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Fish more, catch more, and we'll see you on the flip side.